Good morning, grade nines. Today we have an interesting topic we're going to be talking about, and it's titled Sectors of the Economy. As you all know, within an economy, for it to function properly, you need to have what we call goods and services. Does anyone know what are goods and services? Yes, Tato. All right. What about you, Kelly? Yes. Correct. So both of you are correct. Goods are basically physical items that can be seen, such as food, clothing, cars, and books. Whilst on the other hand, services are activities performed by someone else that are not tangible, that cannot be touched or seen, but they provide value. Like, for example, I'm teaching you now, I'm educating you, I'm adding value to you. So that is a service I'm providing. So since the topic is sectors of the economy, we're going to be focusing on a type of food, which is what we call an apple. Some of you have apple juice in your bag. Do you know how it ended up arriving there? All right. Okay, so for an apple to get to you, to get to your mouth, to get to your bag, it needs to go through the three sectors of the economy, which is what we call the primary, the secondary, and the tertiary. So within the primary sector, this is when the farmer plants the apple tree, and then he then harvests this apple tree. Once that is done, it is then taken to the secondary sector, which is where we find factories who add value to the apple. So what do? They take the apple and change it to become a finished product. This is the secondary sector. After the secondary sector, it then moves on to what we call the tertiary sector. Within the tertiary sector, it now gets to the store where you see it. So tertiary sector is basically the last level of the economic sector. So you then buy the apple and then bring it to school, and now it's in your bag. I'll hand over the lesson to Miss Samgeliswe, and then she'll further highlight and enlighten us on the sectors of the economy.
And now focusing on the first lesson aim, which is defining the sectors in the economy. The first one is primary sector, which deals with extracting raw materials from nature, for example, farming, mining, and fishing. As you all know, that the major part of the economies of developing countries is farming. Now, the secondary sector involves processing raw materials into finished goods, for example, factories that produce cars. And these factories, they're usually slightly outside of town because they need more space to produce or manufacture the cars. The last one is the tertiary sector, which includes providing of services. As you are coming to the school, and as us teachers, we provide educational service to you. And if you were to go to a hospital or a clinic, they will provide a healthcare service to you. And if your parents were to go to the banks, they will be providing the banks will be providing banking service to them. Focusing on the interrelation of the three sectors is that the primary sector feeds the secondary sector. So when the primary sector extract the raw materials from nature, they will then sell them to the secondary sector. And then the secondary sector will buy the raw materials and produce them into finished goods or products. And also the secondary sector does depend on the tertiary sector. They depend on the tertiary sector because they need transportation to transport the finished goods into the factor market. Now, when the goods get to the factor market, the tertiary sector will then ensure that the products from the secondary sector reaches the consumer. Now, this cycle will generate income for all sectors which drive their economy forward. Thank you, grade 9s, for listening, and if there's anyone with questions, I am here to answer them.